We made progress with organizing our storage and adding farmland to grow our crops. Our next step required us to head into the ruined city to scavenge for copper and other resources. Acquiring these resources allowed us to progress into our next quest line, the Fiery Realm. Finishing the quest line gave us the opportunity to generate a new simulation from the Nexa. This simulated Inferno is a training ground from the Nexa. We gathered resources here to prepare for the Nether. We need gear and potions to help us resist the extreme conditions we will face. Hello everybody and welcome back to episode number 4 here in our FTB Genesis playthrough. We have gotten some arcane technology. You will have seen that in the intro as well. In the quest book, that was listed here under Resonant Empowerment, under our Dangerous Path. So that is our enchanting table from Apotheosis. Apotheosis works a little different than the regular enchanting table, and we have gotten one from the city ruins. I'm going to take the rest of this reward here. It'll also give us a shelf of Masterful Sight, which adds more enchanting to the table. Basically, you have different enchanting table or bookshelves that you add to the enchanting table to make it go higher, and you can do all kinds of crazy levels with Apotheosis. You can also increase the normal enchants beyond Unbreaking 3, beyond Efficiency 5. You can go continue increasing it, which is pretty cool, fun stuff to play with coming down the road. We went through and we finished out everything in a Dangerous Path. We have to activate the portal when we get back, and we took some time to do a little tree farming out here to get some charcoal for torches so we could pretty much go through and light up this whole city and get as much as we could. I went through most of the buildings. I was specifically looking for the enchanting table because I knew there was one in there because of the quest line. We got a bunch of other stuff too. Most of it I've already taken it back to the base. I have another couple of loads to take to move all of the blocks we collected and things like that back, but we will get set up back there and start using some of this stuff. Our goal for the day is to work on finishing out a selective breeding quest line. Some of these things are going to require us to go through the Nether portal and go into the Nether as well. So we're all set up to do all of that coming today, and we're going to get started back at the Seed Vault. Okay, everybody, we are back here in the Seed Vault, and we have gotten everything kind of organized and put away. I've created sections for different blocks, some section for wood over here, building bricks are over in this section, and then we just have everything organized to ores, to some miscellaneous things over here. In my inventory, I've collected up all of our plant stuff because the goal is to head back to the simulated farmland and put this stuff away and to proceed with the quests. So last time we had finished out doing Dangerous Path. That was just finished with getting this enchanting table, and we did the Activate the Portal quest. So this finishing this part where we power up the portal so that we can go into the Nether finishes out this quest line, which means that we can go into the Thermal Extractions quest line. And if we look here, that's this quest here, visit the Nether realm. So once we go into the Nether, it starts out along here to do all these different things. So it's a lot of collecting different things to unlock new resources. And the same thing with the natives. Basically, we're going to be exploring there so that we can do some trading to get different resources or other means to get different resources. But a lot of different things we need to do there. Before we get to that, though, if we follow through the Project Genesis questline, the next section is this Resources Get chapter. In here, it talks about how we want to get renewable redstone. So we can do that through selective breeding or biotechnology, and it says we start off in selective breeding either way. So we're going to go back to the selective breeding questline. We've gotten our nether wart. We brought that back to the overworld. And now we want to focus on this section for red wheat. It does say that we need to have it growing in a place where it is confined space with low light levels, which means that redstone torches are good for that. So I have some of those that I have from collecting them out in the wasteland. So we're going to bring those with, and we're going to head back into our simulated farmland. so we can start playing around and see if we can't figure out how to get a good source of red wheat growing. We've reached the point where we are doing some grinding in our crops, and I needed to be able to do more than one thing at a time. So I set up another task screen with another battery box. The task screen is pretty simple to craft. It's just stone and books. We got books from the ruined city. And the battery box, we have all the ingredients from scavenging as well. So there's stone. Batteries require refined iron, which is just made by smelting iron a second time. And then the copper cable we can make from our copper that we scavenged. Redstone from the redstone we got from the towers, and coal. The insulated cable, we had a few of those, so we just converted them into insulated cable wire. The copper plates, we made an engineer's hammer and crafted those. And then that gave us another battery box. So I have a cable connecting our coal generator to 2 different battery boxes, which are powering 2 different task screens. That means while I'm working on the crops, we can complete 2 tasks at once, which means in the quest book, under synthetic acquisitions, I can continue to get more water from hydrate or dihydrate, and I can continue to get our crop analyzer recharged when it runs low. So that way I don't have to keep running back here to switch the task. I thought about moving that whole setup inside, but then I thought we're going to be making some changes to our, we'll be swapping between our simulations, so I might move it out here to build a control center in a little bit in the future, but for now it's okay. The other thing I did in here is I sorted out all the seeds that we have. So these are all different, each barrel is one type of seed, and I have, this is all like crops, like produce and things like that. This is all of our flowers, and then back here is all of our saplings. Just kind of get them more organized so that as I work on them, I have some where to start. My oak, I actually have all of them out and planted. I did something that was kind of silly when I planted them. I forgot about the fact that I need water and fertilizer to keep them growing when they're high level, and so I lost a bunch of saplings. It happens. So now I'm rebuilding the saplings back up from the start. We'll work on that at a later date. Up in the second level here, I built a room specifically for grinding the red wheat, because that is what we're working on. This part's not super flashy. It takes a long time, so I just kind of grinded it off the screen. So in this room down here, I made a room that's kind of light locked, and then we put redstone torches on the wall because this can grow in redstone torches. And I started with nether wart, and I spread that across and mutated it into red wheat, which we've officially gotten now. So what we're doing is, I don't need the nether wart anymore. I'm just, all of these should be red wheat. So let's just scan these, the ones that are unknown crops, and we can see what we have. I also learned that I can do the scanning right on the crop sticks. I'm still learning IC2 a little bit. It's been a long time since I played with it. But when you shift and right click, you can scan it, and you can actually scan it 4 times so you get all the data on it. And then that way when you take the seeds, you have it ready. So let me take one of these off now that we have one fully grown. And then I'm just leaving the crop sticks on so that this red wheat can spread out and we'll get more of them. But for now, we have a red wheat seed. We can actually also, if we harvest this, just to show you why we want this. Actually, I don't think that one gave me anything. I don't think it was quite ready to be harvested. But when these do get ready to harvest, they'll give us redstone. So that's our first chance to make renewable redstone. So now, if we look at our quest book, let's go back to selective breeding, which is what we're working on. We have finished the red wheat section. Blue wheat we actually have down in our storage down here. So let's go grab some of that, because we've already made that in the process of getting to the red wheat. So when I grab that, that should finish this quest. We need to get metal seeds, so we need to get Ferru seeds and glowing mushrooms, glow shroom seeds. I do have glow berry seeds, but I don't have glow shrooms, so we'll have to work on that one. Crimson fungus, I have the seeds for that in here, but I haven't quite grown enough crimson fungus. I guess I could put that down so that we could grow that somewhere here. Let's just put it here. Oh, it needs less humidity to grow. So let's do some crop sticks over here. See if we can't plant them there. Still learning all the different things about the different crops. I think we need to grow it on soil that's not hydrated, so probably like on glowstone or not glowstone, soulstone or soul sand or something else like that. So we'll figure that out later and get that going. But we're basically grinding out all of our crops here, and we're working our way towards the top of our quest in selective breeding. So we have a few things left to do. I went through and I got all the different beetroot seeds we needed for this, and I claimed both of these. That gave us 2 more spatial cells, and it unlocked the ability for us to do this section. And I think that this needs to be done when we do not have anything loaded in here. So I'm going to take our simulation and I'm going to unload it just because I don't want to risk having anything happen. So our farmland is now unloaded. And let's see what happens when we complete this quest. It says, you are a skilled botanist indeed to recognize my masterful work. I trust you will care and provide for the plants herein, and I hereby grant you full access to my private labs. So let's take our storage cells and our advanced universal cable. And then we also take this and activate the simulation. So now we have spatial cell. Before we go in, let's transfer it back into this cell. And this cell we're going to rename Advanced Farmland, just so that we have it saved in a drive as we need it. Put it back in, and we're going to go in here for the first time together, because I have not seen what this is. I don't know anything about it. This is our old one, the simulated farmland, so let's put that away so we don't accidentally lose it. And then let's go in here and see what we have. So looks like he set up some more croplands in here. These have illumination and water underneath. Over here we have flux converters, thermoelectric generators, and a wooden storage crate with a bunch of supplies in, which is excellent. And let's go over here and see what is in this room. He may have already set us up. Yeah, it looks like this is set up specifically for red wheat farming. So that's great. So we're going to take some time and probably move all of our farmland into this area, just because this has some things set up for us to make this all work. There's a section underneath for soul sand, or that has soul sand. And it looks like these access underneath all of our croplands. So let's just take a look around. I want to see if there's anything in here hidden away. These are all just access tunnels to get to where we need to go. Underneath our farms. Curious, is there anything underneath this soul sand in here? It's just solid soul sand, it looks like. And then up here, we can come back out. This brings us out to the other side of our croplands. So it looks like that's probably a setup for us to do things like growing in different environments. So this is where we need to grow if we want to grow crops that need to be underwater. It has a whole bunch of farmland set up for us. I don't know if these have... Trying to see if there is anything. We don't have the crop matrons and stuff like that. We don't... Looks like we don't have any of them set up. But there's an area here for us to do different things. Let's look at our supplies in here. So we have the industrial work table. We have a bunch of bones, some cyan, terracotta, fertilizer. There is a journal for us to read, bunch of crop sticks, and some sparks and visible light sources, and our crop library. So our crop library, let's take a look at that. If we power this, we're going to be able to put our seeds in here. It's going to be able to store everything. So let's just put one in and see what happens. I guess it doesn't work unless we get power to it. So let's... looks like we're going to need to run wiring for it. Let's read the journal, see what it says. I'm Dr. Thorne, renowned Illyrian botanist, and if you're reading this, I'm already dead. Oh, that's upsetting. I may have overreached in my designs. With the plants unable to thrive in the physical world, I tried to emulate a physically variant reality inside of the Nexa. To everyone's astonishment, it actually worked. The plants could live in the soil and be transferred between worlds. Something was happening inside, though. Instead of growing, the plants seemed just remain just as they entered, never maturing. I created a spatial anchoring device, and I planned to digitize myself into the farming simulation to force the area to remain active. The problem is time flows differently here, and I have no way out. I had expected the simulation to end mere seconds after I went in. Sadly, this is not the case. Simulation has been running now with me inside for what feels like months. I have taken ill as well. I believe something in the weed X I was using caused it. I was modifying the plants to be immune to weeds, but it appears the weed X is quite poisonous. If you find this, I hope you fare better than I did. I do believe it possible to tag this area for loading and leave a transmission device in so that plants can stay working always and allow you to enter and exit without suffering my fate. May Illyria be with you. Okay, well, I hope that that is true and we can actually survive, but that means we now have everything that we need in order for us to grow some crops in here. So we're going to take some time and probably move everything in here from our other side, get power set up, and move our farmland to an advanced setup, which is pretty nice. I do kind of wish I hadn't taken so much time to build the last one, but you know, you'll learn. So that's what we're going to be working on for the time being. So I have managed to empty everything out of our old simulated farmland. It's just a big empty black room now, except for these power cables. I placed them in the advanced farmland and they're still there. I think it's a bug with applied Energistics where it's not loading them into the simulated world. So when I come out here and I swap this out, so let's put this room back into our simulated farmland. And we pull out our advanced farmland, you can see those power lines are still there. So it's fine. I just have to keep that in mind. Basically, I just broke everything down. I'm bringing it in here, and we're getting ready to set up to do some farming here. We have quite a bit of stuff we want to work on, but I'm going to drop everything off. I'm going to get everything kind of organized in here. And then we're going to continue on. So the main thing we're doing is we're working on finishing out the selective breeding quest line. So we have most of this done. We have a few more things to do. Just different crops that we have to do. We need to make some metal seeds. So we need to breed Ferru seeds. And then this also shows us how we grow them. So to grow, we need farmland with ore underneath it. So if you look in here, the way these rooms are set up, you can tell that's why they were set up the way they are. So like our farmland over here, that's our farmland. And then we have all these blocks underneath. That way we can set up the different blocks we need in order to do the things that we have to do. So we're going to work on getting the seeds we need. And we're also going to work on getting them planted so that they can grow in here, and a few other things like that. I did also bring in our task screens from outside and put them in here. I have them connected to this power system where we're using the uranium block and the blue ice to create a thermal difference, which is creating electricity. That way we don't have to keep using fuel to do it. So these can be done. I can add more as well. I left some space for it. So that'll be good. That way we can keep getting our crop analyzer set up. Where is my bottles? I did also put in a water source in here so that we have water, and we'll have to set up some food so that we have food as well. But we're pretty well set on what we need in here. So I'm going to take some time. We'll get everything set up. We'll get everything moved in here, and then we'll go from there. Done a few different things. Once I got all the crops in here, I used the crop library and our LV flux converter to keep charging up my crop analyzer, and I analyzed all the seeds we had. So now they're all in here sorted, and that way I can have one place to go and grab any seeds. So these are basically you can go in, you can pick the seed, it'll pull it out, and as long as it's analyzed, I can put it back in and store it properly. Next thing I did is I did a couple of different seeds. I have my red wheat seeds set up in this room back here. Turn off that. So I'm breeding red wheat seeds together to try to get different variants back in there. But the main thing I want is to do the blue wheat seeds here. So I have a spot here where I'm breeding the blue wheat seeds next to each other. I'm going to grab some more if I have them. Let's see what we have as far as blue wheat seeds. May not have any more. Oh, I have 3 more seeds. So I'm going to grab these 2. Actually, let's grab all of them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the crop sticks. We're going to put them down so we can have sticks like this. We'll make sure all of those sections have water. And then we're going to also put what we can for fertilizer on the ones where we're going to be placing the seeds. So we're going to put a blue wheat seed here, and one here, and here. We're going to put down crop sticks in between so that they can breed. I have a blue wheat seed here that's growing, so as soon as it's done growing, I can grab it and move it over here, and then we'll have more sections where we can crossbreed the 2 different blue wheat seeds. So we got a bone flower here. Oh, actually, I thought that would let me pick it up, but it didn't. The bone flower, I guess, needs some other different things. We have taro wheat here, so we're going to grab that seed. We're going to put it here. So we're just going to keep breeding seeds until we get all the seeds that we want. One thing to take note of is when we have the crop analyzer, we can analyze it like this. If we want to, when the crop analyzer is in here charging, we can actually hit C while it's over it to keep using it to analyze crops. So we're able to do that and not have to constantly pull it out and recharge it. But it is nice to have it on us because we use it while we are doing different things over here. So you can just throw it into any of these flux converters to convert or to charge it whenever it needs it. And we also still have our recharge crop analyzer task screen set up. So that way, if I'm off doing something somewhere else, I can charge it on the go. However, that uses a lot more power because it uses 200K to do it. And you know, to refill it here only uses 50,000. So, that's the goal. Oh, I need to hook this power back up. I took it off momentarily because I was experimenting. But basically, we want to keep getting these battery boxes full up so that we can have power to go into the task screens when we need them to. So, like I said, we're going to continue breeding here. Let's take this blue wheat. Now that it's fully grown, we can grab it. We'll put down a new crop stick so that it can grow. We'll put this here. And so our goal is to continue to grow the blue wheats until they're fully grown and then crossbreed them across. Once we have a seed in the middle, we just scan it and then we know what it is. So now we have a blue wheat seed here with better stats than its parents. So eventually we'll work on getting blue wheat that has max stats. I don't want to go too high because they require more fertilizer and water to keep growing the higher we get them. Oops, I did not mean to do that. So that's not exactly what we want to do. I guess we can take the lapis off of these just so that we can keep them watered. But we don't want to go too high so that they actually end up dying off. But we do want to get the best stats we can because it will make things much better. So here we bred a spruce sapling. And like I said, as we get more seeds, we will keep getting them scanned all the way up, put them in our crop library. The one we are working on getting to is our Ferru seeds, which are going to allow us to make iron renewable. Once we do that, we'll be able to get into some more intense things. One of those things is being able to do these crop machines, specifically a crop matron. A crop matron is going to allow us to automatically keep our crops watered and fertilized. So that's something we want to get into, but we need to get renewable iron before we can really do any of that. So just going to take a bunch of time here and just keep growing seeds until we get all the seeds that we need. Been quite a bit since my last clip that I recorded. I've been sick for a couple weeks, and I just wanted to kind of get back in. We'll finish up and wrap up this episode, and then we'll get back into some. So I've been unable to record because of being having a bad cold and everything. Just not really easy to do that when you have problems with your voice and with your head and stuff. So what I have done is I did do some more work trying to work on growing crops in our simulated farmland. But also while we were doing that, I came over to our ruined city and I did some work here. So let's see, sleep, so it's daytime. We can go out and take a look. Basically, I built up a bunch of tree farms because trees are the only thing I can really grow outside here, outside of our habitat over there. And so I set down all the different tree types so that I have a large amount of area to grow them. And then also this city that was here, I've just kind of dismantled it. I left the spawners in place in case I want to build something to do like an XP kind of thing. Mobs from the spawners and mobs in general don't drop mob drops in this pack, so not really any point in like setting up a skeleton farm or anything to get bones, but I can get XP from it. And that last block up there is a spot where I can get 16 different spawners to activate. So if I do anything with them, I'm probably going to do it there. I don't know if I will or not. We'll see if it becomes a necessary thing. I have some area underneath here that I still have some like basements from buildings that I just kind of left in place. So in case we want to use some of the stuff down here or anything. But mostly I removed all the buildings. And the only thing I left was this over here. This is the subway entrance from this city. And the subway goes underground. And it goes in like a bunch of different directions underground. So it might be something that we want to use later on to kind of do something fun. So I left it in place. I lit it all up so that we don't have spaces underground where mobs are spawning, and kind of just left it there. And the rest is gone. I also did a little bit of terraforming over here to kind of make a nice area for us to build, and then this area looks good with our habitat connection over there. So it was a lot of just kind of making things prepared for the future, because I couldn't really record, but I still had some times where I could work through some progress. So the other thing that I did is, like I said, I was working on our farmland, and I've just been struggling with getting our, let's see, where is it? Here. Under, I guess it would be under here. We need to go to get, oh, it's under selective breeding. We need to get metal seeds. So I've been having trouble getting that last one done. I'm not sure if I'm doing it wrong or what, but we wanted to grow Ferru seeds so we can get iron. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a beat from that, and then I'm going to go and work on thermal extractions instead and head into the nether in the next episode. That way I can get some resources here, and we can work on this section over here where we go into Inferium and we start doing the mystical agriculture, which is where I want to end up making crops in the long run anyway. So, like I said, this is just kind of a recap to let you know where I've been and where we are at over here. We'll get started with the nether in our next episode, and we'll call it for a day here and see how things go after that. So I hope you enjoyed watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.